quality now, considering the fact that before everybody was monitoring, even when they said that like the is dual lane, dual carriage. You know, people were coming and saying that no, but it's not what we are saying. So they are forced to come and then make some clarifications. But now that people are not paying attention, perhaps people are not, you know, they lose confidence in the hosting of the OIC. Where do we see ourselves as a country? Do you think when it comes to the quality, the accountability part of it, how monies are spent and all that, Mr. Mbosh?
I suspect that people who are funded, people funding these projects, they will still be interested in it. I remember we interviewed the president of the Islamic Development Bank when he said that they have their measures, they have their own ways of monitoring these things. So that bit will go on. Well, for the rest of us, well, journalists, it's our job to go and find out really what is going on. Government, it's their job to communicate to us really what is going on. And you are absolutely correct, Mr. Dabo. Perhaps the communication has been quite deficient in so many different areas, and in others they've been so defensive. You know, there was a time when everybody knew that the OIC summit was going to be on last year or something like that. Until the very last minute, they kept insisting it's going to go on. So just treat us as adults, tell us what the issues are, and then people will understand.
I mean, there's no other way around it. Just be forthcoming with information, and the public, honestly, from my experience, as long as there is that communication line being opened, people are ready to listen, and they will understand the position of government.
I mean,
but
that's the use of the access to information bill.
That's right. I mean, so
And
I saw on social media yesterday, you know, how far the construction is going on, and it looks, the roads, the parts that have been completed, so not completed but near completion, it looks it's going to be a very impressive site to look at. I mean, the facelifting is going to be nice. We will all appreciate it as Gambians. But
yeah, so the next paper we are going to look at the headline here on the Gambia ranked 110th in World Corruption Index by Transparency International.
And earlier you asked the question, Vice President, what's the implications of not having a Vice President? I think that's a very interesting
exactly
headline there.
On the Foroya newspaper.
But they're what, 102nd?
World ranking.
Yes. This is the Corruption Perception Index, isn't it? Transparency International. Yes, but we've been hovering around that, and I think actually over the period, we've been improving.
Yeah, steadily.
Steadily.
I mean, sometimes at a flat line, we're not improving, not going down. So we've been the index has been flattened for us, which is generally not bad. You would want to improve, but if you are static at a point, I mean, that's better than dropping.
Exactly.
But for me, I'm really very careful with this one because it's measuring perception.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's measuring perception, and I'm not sure whether perception in itself is quite the same thing as corruption, the activities, just what people think is going on. So I'm really
as against what actually happened.
What is actually going on? There are certain studies done with the World Bank when you look at some of their reports and the like. And yes, when it comes to corruption, they think that we've not been doubling up, as it were, to tackle it really. We've not really done much. How many prosecutions have you heard? The last prosecution we heard, it collapsed, the person walked free, or the two people walked free. So yes, there's not much being done there. One must say that. But for me as well, I compared it to the other index, the Ibrahim, the Amo Ibrahim Foundation. They've just released their latest report on, you know, sort of on governance, isn't it? The Ibrahim
general governance
for governance in Africa.
Yeah.
We are the most improved over the past 10 years.
Yeah.
So it appears that when you look at all these reports, then you get a composite of mixed baggage.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
We're improving in some areas,
not doing
not
so much.
not doing well in other areas.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So
I think
be careful.
When it comes to the last indexed in the Gambia 2022, it was ranked 102 in the world and 11th in Africa. But it appears now it's 110th, which is quite high.
Yes, I'm growing more cynical. That's really what it is. The disappointment, the cynicism, and that sort of thing. That's what I think reduce it to.
Yes. Generally, the Gambian people, the perception is that public officials are corrupt, and that's nothing much. Either that is true or not is another conversation, but that's the perception that most people have. But if you, and this has been something that has interested me, and I've written an article actually in the Standard newspaper about this, and that is what the First Republic enjoyed, probably the Second Republic, which is that not many people were paying attention to what government or our public officials were doing. Right now, that is completely different. The education level in the country has increased. There are a lot of platforms that people get access to information. So whatever the perception is, right now public officials, I think they are more worried and they are more concerned about their credibility, their legacy, to the extent that they are very careful what they do. I'm not saying corruption is not there,
incidents
but
have shown
people
us that
are
legacy
more careful now with
Exactly.
what they do with public funds than it used to happen.
Now, this is very interesting. I'm going to have to push back on a few points there. I suspect that perhaps today people are more daring to do that sort of thing. The First Republic, not that people were not paying attention. People were paying attention. What has changed now is the internet.
Yeah, that's
technology.
Exactly
Technology has changed.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean that people today are more aware. It's just that there's more noise today.
Just like the
Because
police,
the
police will
Yeah.
say that the crimes are not actually higher than before. They are now reported more than before.
Yeah.
At least that is the justification that they
So-
will always
so-
So with the arrival
advantages-
of the technology, it changed the whole landscape.
That's exactly what
The
I mean.
political, the social, it changed
So because
everything.
in the First Republic those things weren't there,
Yeah.
I mean, you can do anything and get kind of, free with it. Right now, you can't. Even after leaving office, people can dig into your work in the past,
Exactly.
in a particular institution, and be able to know whether you were corrupt-free or corrupt. You reported on the, I think it's Lena, the ex-president of Mauritania. He left office 10 years, and today he's facing charges in a court of law.
Absolutely. But let's be careful here. There you're talking about the big fish. Yes, that's a huge problem. But in our society, every level, corruption as we are defining it, we're using it here, public corruption, every level is corrupt. So many people get away with it.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Hey, we've just talked about how corrupt things are. Yes, one. And on the other hand, we've said, but we haven't seen any prosecutions.
Yeah.
Then a lot of people are getting away with it. That's the logic that one can tease out of these situations, these two pieces of fact. So let us be careful. It is every level.
Exactly.
When we went to fight these things, it's not simply about big fish, people in government. They just reflect us. That's the deeper issue.
Correct.
That is why it is so difficult to get out of here.
Yeah.
Because I, the critic, am saying all sorts of things against government. Now, put me in a government position tomorrow, then suddenly I transform into somebody else.
Yeah.
It's
And
just a
Mr.
system.
Budge can become the most corrupt person.
President, who knows?
Absolutely.
It's just possible.
That's an interesting one there. As a country, I think we should be concerned now more than ever about the anti-corruption bill.
Yeah.
It coming into law.
I am
yeah.
I'm more concerned about the youth What do they think about this? How would they change it? Because I see them replicating the same attitudes.
Okay.
And you know, just before we go for a break, you know, another interesting thing is that people, especially friends and family, if you are not careful, they are the ones who can push you to become even more corrupt. As a public official.
Then be careful of friends and family. So thank you so very much, Mr. Mbosh, for coming along. That was really interesting there. Till we will now take a leave of you and we will continue the program. Viewers, we will now go for a short commercial break. When we return, the program continues, of course, with Professor Per Gomez, the Minister of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology. We'll be back.
Espas Motors is the largest and most modern auto service in the Gambia. Espas Motors is the only authorized dealer in Sherry, Mercedes-Benz trucks, Mercedes-Benz buses, Kia, Ford, Futon Mini and Midi buses, Futon trucks. At Espas Motors, we have qualified professionals who use modern technology to diagnose and repair all brands of motor vehicles. Espas Motors services include auto sales, auto repairs, vehicle painting, availability of high-quality spare parts, towing services. We are reachable at any time. Call Espas Motors on 352222 353-4444 or locate us on the Bertil Harding Highway. Espas Motors. Step into the Espas Motors showroom for your luxurious name brand vehicle. Located along the Bertil Harding Highway, Espas Motors is the Gambia's authorized dealer for Chery, Kia, Ford, and now we bring you the new Peugeot model 3008 SUV. 18-inch alloy wheels, 216 inches high ground clearance, keyless entry system, start and stop button, rear parking assistance system with reverse camera, adaptive cruise control with speed limit, LED daytime running lights, front and side airbags, 8-inch HD touchscreen. Not to forget our exquisite Peugeot Landtrek double cabin pickup with 2.1-liter diesel engine, 6-speed manual transmission 4x4, hill descent control, LED daytime running lights. Espas Motors, the authorized dealer for Peugeot. Visit us today or call us on 35